Give a sample like of where you're at right now. So 56, you're still training hard. You're training 3 times per week for the most part, right? At the moment with a three-way
Yeah,
split. What does that look like? Like give a sample of like a your chest and back day. What's interesting is because of course you're a big proponent of the Mike Mentzer, the heavy duty philosophy. You've been following that for years and years. You ran that like pretty much exclusively, like the low sets, the to failure training. You did that since what, like the early 90s, and then you
yeah,
just
yeah,
kept
yeah, yeah.
you didn't really switch like, oh, I mean, now I'm going to train 5 days a week or 4 days a week, do
No,
loads
no,
of
no,
sets. You never kind of flip-flop back and forth.
no, no. It was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
Was the main thing, three-way split. Like say on a Monday, I did chest and back, barbell rows, 2 sets of barbell rows, 2 sets of long cable row. But my first set, you could class it as a warm up. So I did like maybe whatever 70 kilos for 16, and then 80 kilos for 12, and then just 2 sets of pull downs, and that were my back.
Okay. So for working sets, like hard working sets, you're talking like three or four.
Yeah, like 2 sets of rows. I'd do warm up of rows, and then 2 sets. I'd have the same weight. I did 18 reps and then 12.
Okay.
And then on the long cable row, I put a weight on, did 16, and then put a bit more weight on and got 12. And then that was that. And then I'm warmed up, so I just went straight to my weight on the pull down and
Okay.
did a set 13, but I rest paused it and did another 4 reps. So I'll do rest pause. My rest pause, I'll rest 10 seconds. And then with the same weight, I did another 4 reps. And then that were like, say, we a wide or whatever grip. And then I did a narrow grip and then did the same, got 10 reps and 3 rest pause. Then that were back. Chest, we've got like an incline fly machine, what we use. So I'll do a warm up and I superset that with incline dumbbells. So I'll do one warm up and then I did a set and just did 1 set. So put some more weight on the machine and then supersetted with incline dumbbells. And then that was that. And then I just did 1 set of decline flies and I'll superset that with a press, but I'll just keep the same dumbbells in my hand. I'll do maybe what I said, I did 21 reps and then with the same dumbbells, press. And then that was chest. So I did 1 set of pullovers and that were it for chest.
Dumbbell pullovers?
Dumbbell pullovers, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
go across the bench long way, do the pullovers, and then I do my traps after I've done my chest. Set seated shrug rows. You sit on the end of a bench and slightly lean forward, and it's like you're like shrugging your shoulders back like that. 1 set of those, and I've started doing the farmer's walk,
Okay.
holding a pair of dumbbells, and then I walked up gym and back down. Oh, usually I do a set, do dumbbell shrugs. That with that, and then I did do my calves. I'll do my calves on a Monday and a Thursday, but I'll do seated on a Monday and then
Hmm.
standing on a Thursday. And that again, that's just like a 1 set, just like a drop set.
No warm-ups.
I'll do a couple of warm ups, but £66 for 12, £110 for 12, and then I put £132 on. Did 15. So as you can see, though, those are the only light warm ups.
But you still progress the warm-ups as well as you progress the working sets?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For my legs.
Yeah, break down the leg routine too, right? This will be fun for the listeners. 56
Yeah,
years
well,
old. This is the current training. You did the chest
yeah.
and back
At
and
the minute,
shoulders.
because of my back, I can't do leg press.
Okay.
Because it compresses my back. I don't
Yeah.
do the squats.
Okay.
So the only machine where I can overload my legs is called a belt squat, where you put the belt around you, goes around your hips. I've been using that for the last few years. I do my hamstrings before I do my quads as well. Lying leg curls, yeah, and
Yeah.
seated leg curls, and then I do quads. I'll start with like a leg extension, but recently I've been doing one single leg extensions because last year, about a year and a half ago, I had my left knee. I had a bit of trouble with my left knee, so I think what's been happening, is, especially with the leg extension, is my right leg's been compensating more than my left. So I've been doing single leg extensions. Like I said, my quads I start with a couple of sets of single leg extensions. Then I go on the belt squat, and like I said, with the warm up, I'll progress the warm up as well. So if I had a bit on the normal, I'll add it on the warm up as well. So couple of sets of single leg extensions and then warm up on the belt squat on like a wide stance. And then I do my set. So say £176 for 16 reps, but I've been doing them at a 2-2. That's another thing is your
Hmm.
cadence as well, which mentioned. So I'll be doing those at a 2 second down, pause, and a 2 second up, 16 reps, and then I've got to 220 a minute and in a wide stance. So I've got 21 reps, and that's at a 2-2 cadence as well. And then I do a set with the same weight but narrow, a narrow stance, get the outside and 16 reps with that. And then maybe I start to do lunges again as well, trying the lunges, and that's it for legs. It doesn't seem a lot, but it's hard. It's hard. Obviously, I'm on my own as well. So obviously with legs, you don't want to be failing at the bottom, but it's
True.
to a point where I know I won't get another rep, or to a safe point.
Before the point where the form gets sacrificed, basically.
Yeah, but if you do them at a 2-2, because doing them at like say 2-2, you find your reps are they're the same. You can keep the same strictness if you know what I mean.
Yes.
When you're doing them at a 1-1, it's harder to log that, because obviously you could do one rep where it's not as deep, or one rep's faster than the other one. But when you're doing them at like say that 2-2, each reps, it's the same. You know, then if you do an extra rep, that rep is a proper rep, rather than you might, if you're doing them at a normal speed, you might have done the last rep a bit faster.
Yes.
Than the other ones, or the last few might be faster or whatnot. But yeah, but like I said, you use all rep cadences and whatnot. In the past, obviously, when I was doing over 1,000-pound leg presses, they weren't at a 2-2 cadence. It was just power. That's why probably I was like doing 20, 30 reps. So I was doing them quicker. But what made up for that is the amount of weight, for the it's time under tension, what everyone talks about now. But then it was just doing it, power and whatnot.
And what was your rationale for switching to a slower cadence relative? It's for track
that
progress.
to limit. Obviously, I just started doing 2-2, but to limit weights. So if I got up to a certain weight and thought I don't want to, obviously with my legs and my back, instead of going up in weight, I'll just make the reps harder.
Better for the body.
Yeah. Like I said, just make it harder. So instead of thinking now, I'm doing this amount of weight, because with the belt squat, I was getting up to like 30, 40 reps. So what I've done is, like I say, I've just took the cadence down. So say I was doing 40 reps with that 220, I've just done them at a 2-2. So it's probably the same amount of time under tension, or maybe a bit more. But obviously, I'm not thinking, I've got to add weight, because obviously I'm very wary on my back, because it should have been legs today, but I haven't done them because my back. Pulled my back yesterday from work. So yeah.
Well, hopefully that heals up fast for you, and then you can get back. Yeah. Is it like a muscle spasm, or you have like a?
Yeah. What happens is my erectors, because I think it's my discs, get irritated, and my back just locks up. So my back's like, you look at me, you have a normal curvature in your back. It's just like a flat board, because all my erectors tense up, and So
like right in the center, or is it like one side more than the other?
Obviously, it's right in the center of my back, my lower. I forgot what this they were. I think it's just like a protection mode, it just to protect your disc, but obviously it makes it hard to walk and whatnot.
You've had this before though happen to you?
Yeah. In 2022, I had it really, really bad, because I was a lorry driver, and I was at one of my deliveries, and it totally went, and I just had to lay on the floor in the middle of the yard, and the ambulance had to take me to hospital.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
So yeah, with my back now, it's got to be really careful. Like I said, I don't do leg press and done squats, but like I said, the belt squat's really been a saviour, really, where I can get some load on my leg. Yeah,
for sure. And of course, you're still doing the leg extension, single leg you mentioned because of your
I've
knee.
stopped just like I say last couple of weeks because I'm moving my left leg. Yeah. So yeah, I've got a few.
It's a challenge, eh? It's a challenge working around these things.
I think that's where it is. It's like, I think, it probably brings that challenge out. I think, how can I get around it and still be able to train and get some, like say, intensity and whatnot, load on my body. I think it's probably like a challenge to do.
I think it could be looked at in a somewhat of a positive way, like, this could be a challenge, and it could be fun to try to figure out what exercises feel good.
That's it. Yeah. Like I said, with the legs, I'm really limited, but with that belt squat, it's been a godsend. I can do belt squat, I can do lunges to a certain point, and leg extension. But like I said, leg presses and squats and like hack squats, I think it's like the compression. If I've got a hack squat machine, it compresses my back, and the leg press really compresses my back as well. So
Yeah. The smart thing is that you're not doing those exercises like for the younger listeners tuning in now and you're working around it versus like you're someone who might be stubborn. This is like when I was younger, I would still do these exercises not knowing how much damage you could be causing to your future self, right? When you just push through it and you don't think like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't do this exercise. It hurts and not in a good
yeah,
way. So I'm gonna maybe substitute that out and find an exercise that actually feels good on the body, and then you can progress that exercise. I think.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, for anyone, obviously, when I was younger, I used to love squatting, squats and whatnot, and I used to love training legs and
Yeah.
back. I didn't like training arms, but like say arms were one of them.
Best.
I enjoyed training legs because
Yeah.
it was hard,
Yeah.
and back because it was hard, not because it was easy.
What's interesting is because of course you're a big you are a big proponent of the Mike Mentzer, the heavy duty philosophy. You've been following that for years and years, right? Like since you started off with the traditional, like higher volume, maybe approach when
Yeah,
what you were
yeah.
like a teenager,
Yeah,
maybe?
like from obviously when I first started up to late teens, it's probably first started with like heavy duty stuff in probably about 1990, 91. And looking back at that point, probably when I made my best gains as well. Yeah, 1991.
For the most part, you were like when you made that switch from like the traditional approach, like of training, like let's say, what were you training like 4 or 5 times a week when you
Yeah,
first started?
you would do everything because obviously used to train every other day or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday or whatnot. And then obviously gradually you come to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which seemed to me worked the best.
Yeah, but you ran that like pretty much exclusively, like the low sets, the to failure training. You did that since what, like the early 90s, and then you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kept.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You didn't
Up
really
to
go.
yeah.
You didn't really switch like, oh, I mean, now I'm gonna train 5 days a week or 4 days a week, do
No,
loads
no,
of
no,
sets. You never kind of flip flop back and forth.
no. It was the Monday, Wednesday, Friday was
Yeah,
the main thing, three-way split, which
yeah,
I'd recommend to anybody.
and low sets with
Full load, yeah, yeah. If you're young and you can do that and you've no injuries, I can't see why no one you can't do that.
and
So yeah,
you're technically still doing that from
I'm
what I
still doing.
heard.
Yeah, yeah, I still do
Yeah.
that. Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
especially there.
And what's really cool is also like, so I brought this up also because you turned it and you made it your own at the end of the day. Like you're not like, how Mike Mentzer, he was a proponent of like certain orders of exercises. Obviously he had like templates, right, at the end of the day. But you would see like he would start like pullover was like a thing. It's like we got to start with the pullover for back and then you do the pull down and then you do the row. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
you're not necessarily doing it like in this very strict order. Like people think you have to follow it like in a strict order. You made it your own, right? At the end of the day, which is
Oh yeah,
important.
yeah. But I have done that where obviously he's
Of
pretty
course.
exhausted into it with the. Because like I say, I have done that where you could do a straight arm pull
Yeah.
down straight away to underhand pull down, which is good. Which I could do that. I could do that next week, but
Yeah, yeah. But you switch it based on the goal and what you're trying to
yeah,
accomplish.
yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously I'll do something and get the best out of it, and then change it. I'm not one of these where you do something different every week to shock the muscle. What does that mean? Shocking your muscle? To me, that just means you've done something what might have been hard that week, and you're probably thinking, "Oh, that was hard. I'll do something different this week," and then I'll just put it down to, "Oh, I'm just confusing my body." But a routine is a routine. You do it week in, get the most out of it, and then change it. You're not going to know how you progress.
True.
Changing it all the time. If you're going in doing different exercises, different rep ranges, every time you go in, you're not going to know how you're progressing.
Yeah, that
How
makes complete
I
sense.
see.
And so like for example, like if we took like you started with the barbell rows, like you've been starting with that. Is there a specific reason why you decided to start with that, or is it like enjoyment too? You're like, you know what, I feel like starting with this exercise for the
Yeah,
next few weeks.
like I say, obviously with my back, I have to be careful. So then it's not as if they're heavy rows. I just do them a lot stricter now
Okay.
than probably in the past. But like I said, it could be one arm dumbbell rows. At the minute, I'm doing barbell rows, or I've been doing underhand rows, and I've just gone back to normal
Yeah.
rows. And then say if I've been doing underhand rows, and then on the long cable, I might use a wide grip, and that
Yeah.
simulates the
Upper
like
back.
the row for upper back, but
Yeah.
I've gone back to like a barbell row and then like a narrower grip for long cable rows.
So really depends. Like you might start with a certain exercise because you wanna maybe bias the upper back, or maybe it's the lats
Yeah,
first,
yeah,
or
yeah,
that
yeah.
type of thing.
But
Yeah.
I generally always start with rows for my back.
Okay.
Generally start with rows.
What's the reason for that? Because again, Mentzer was like the opposite. He would start with pull downs, right? Or
You start with
pullovers.
pull downs, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't
This is
know
what you
really.
enjoy?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I'll do that superset way straight on to that, but generally I do the rows. Start
Yeah.
with
No,
rows.
that's great. Like I bring this up and I notice these things because I think it's good for the listeners, especially those coming in. It's like you don't have to follow a template like so
Oh
strict.
no,
Like
no, no,
make it
no.
yourself, make it your own.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's important, right?
because in the end, the only variables you have is how hard you're working. Do whatever you want, but whatever you do, do it to your best of your ability. Do it hard and consistently.
Yes.
So that's what matters, not what exercise you start with or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's being consistent. So
And
you know what I mean?
progressing over
And like
time.
progressing on whatever you're doing, progressing
Yeah.
on that, and that's that. It doesn't matter. Start with whatever you want.
I love that. I love that. No, it's good that comes from you, right? Like who's been in this for a long time. I try to pull this out because I know that that's what you're thinking, but it's sometimes it's like we gotta, the young people listening, right? And then I've been trapped in that in the past where I think, oh, this is the template. And then you think, but it's not, there's something not right. And you know that you're feeling it, but you think, well, this is the routine, right? When you're a kid, you don't know, right? When you're a young kid, 20s, early 20s, and you think, well, you got to make it your own, right? That takes time, of course, trial and error and years to figure out like, hey, maybe you want to start with barbell rows because you want to target your upper back because that's maybe an area that's lacking a little bit. What if you,
Yeah,
or something, right? Or you enjoy it. You're like, you know what? I really want to start with this, but Mike Mentzer has this template. It says, oh, pullovers first. Well, you don't have to start with pullovers.
you don't
That's
have
just
to.
that's a template, right?
Yeah,
So I just think that's why it's good to bring up for, obviously the experienced guys, those of you tuning in who are experienced, you already know this, but this is like more for, the newer generation coming into this and are tuning in. And it's important that that's also something that's being discussed and being mentioned because, hey, it could save people a lot of headaches. Like if I was young tuning into this, it would have helped me a lot when I was in my early 20s, and just following templates and routines and thinking this is the one online and you follow it like a robot, right? And then you wonder why you're running into all sorts of aches and pains and problems at such a young age too, which is not good, right?
yeah.
Can you break down the shoulders and arm routine to finish it? So you did the leg routine and the chest and back. For the
All right,
viewers,
yeah.
what does the shoulders and arm routine look like
Well,
now?
shoulders again. I'd maybe start with a lat raise. Sometimes I'd do a lat raise supersetted with a press. What would I do? It's like a Cybex.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Lateral raise machine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'd use that sometimes instead of like a lat raise, and then I'd maybe do a machine press and then rear delt. So it's quite basic, really. Bent over laterals or on the like a pec deck, but reverse pec deck. That's it, really. Triceps would be some form of extension, either on a cable or dumbbell, or we've got this machine where you sit down and you extend.
Oh, yeah.
And those I've started using that. That's quite good. So that I do a warm up and then like one set of that and then a press down. That's it really.
Simple. Yeah.
Yeah. For arms, I use a lot of dumbbells. So it might be simultaneous incline dumbbell curls and maybe a bent over concentration curl or some form of preacher curl. What
Yeah.
everyone does really, but
2 or 3 sets for the tries and
yeah,
two or
yeah,
three
yeah.
sets for the
So
buys.
for triceps, it might be 2 to 4 sets. I mean, the
Okay.
last time I did tricep, I just did 2 sets. I did a set of the extensions, a set of press downs. I did 2 sets of preacher curls and a set of forearm curls.
Nice.
So
Simple. Yeah.
yeah,
Low
yeah,
volume, high intensity. That sounds like what you've been following for the last what, 35 years,
yeah.
almost
It must
40
be,
years.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
35 years, something like that. That's great.
yeah.
That's amazing. Can we end off with like a sample of your diet? What does that look like right now in the off season we'll call it, where you're not necessarily preparing for your contest,
Yeah.
but what does that look like?